Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So,
the Clintons are friends
and he's
of
been
yours,
there
right?
for many times.
The Clintons are friends
well,
of
I
yours.
can't say friends, but I know
You're friendly. You know them.
They play at my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to play at my clubs.
Are you saying there's a political problem for her if she runs for president?
It could be a political problem. Look, he could be a political problem. Right now, he's Teflon, and right now, maybe not. But he could end up being a political problem.
That's one question.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We've seen how this is all backfired and how it's been the downfall of the Democrats. I tell you, this man right here. Oh, Donnie. Donnie. Uncle Donnie. Daddy. Oh, Donnie. Donnie. I tell you. Oh, Trump, man. Hey, we took it all the way back. Even 10 years ago. We can go a little bit farther, too. Hey.
I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country, spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected. And I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration. And I support them in delivering the campaign promises we made to the American people. His remarks, of course, have been hurtful. However, I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country. And that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it has divided our country, split up friends and families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems. The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor, and that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the reason for this?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations, and I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files, and I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
Oh boy, we get into some big things on today's show, man. And I just want to tell you guys that I love you. That I hope you're having a great weekend, man. You know, what a time to be alive, man. And again, no matter how you feel about this or that, agree or disagree, you know, no matter where you're at right now, what you're going through, I wanted to send my love and prayers to you. You never know what somebody's battling right now, you know. Even if we don't see eye to eye on the same things, you know, even if you're a liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, I don't care what skin color you are, where you come from, I want to just send my love to you. You know, it's one love to the human race, man. You know, Trump's the president, whether you like it or not. You know, and again, a lot of us agree with things, a lot of us disagree with things. You know, but I told y'all that this thing is not going to stop until people get full transparency and accountability, and people are going to scream to the top of their lungs, you know. And hey, when you promise things, you got to hold the line, you know. But I want to play these clips. This was Trump just a day ago in this interview.
You know, when they talk about the climate, the whole thing is a hoax. They used to say it was started by other countries to cause problems, and they used to call it global warming, but that didn't work because it started getting colder. They even called it many years ago global cooling, but those things don't work. So now they call it climate change, because with climate change you can't lose. The whole thing is a hoax. And your country, among others, but your country is one of the worst. You talk about UK, it's one of the worst in the world. They believe this nonsense, this fiction. You know, when they talk about, you better do something.
Oh boy!
And you have the same exact thing. You have people coming in from parts of the world.
This is Trump now he's on immigration.
You better do. You know, this interview is good for one thing. You better do something about immigration, because it's more important than inflation. You know, inflation you can solve, but when you have people coming into your country and they're bad people, the wrong people, it doesn't work, and it's not working. If you don't get them out, you're not going to have a country left. And you have.
Oh boy. But there's a lot of people going back and forth right now. A lot of people in the base, in the MAGA base. And a lot of people, you know, that when I voted for President Trump, again, love a lot of things he's doing, a lot of things he's saying right now. And then they also are not liking a lot of things, you know, he's saying or doing. You know, and then there's some people saying, you know, that ever since Charlie Kirk passed, that, you know, we've lost focus. And that some people are even saying Charlie Kirk was the glue that was holding us together. You know, now again, y'all can agree or disagree on that. Let me know how you feel about that. I know y'all probably see that a lot. If you type in Charlie Kirk on X, you'll see everybody talking about it. You know, but people are also giving Trump a lot of backlash right now because he said this a couple of hours ago on Truth Social, and people are saying Trump has lost them. Trump is discussing. Then there's a lot of people I'm seeing. And now we can just scroll down and see, but a lot of people are saying, hey, I like that Trump said this. He's keeping it real blunt, you know, about Thomas Massey. And you know, he said that Thomas Massey is sometimes referred to as Rand Paul Jr. because of the fact that he always votes against the Republican Party. Get married and get married already? Boy, that was quick. No wonder the polls have him at a less than an 8% chance of winning the election. Anyway, have a great life, Thomas. And his wife will soon find out he's stuck with a loser. And y'all know, people are saying, well, Trump, you did this. You cheated on your wife. How could you talk about his marriage? And Trump, you know, and they're calling Trump all kind of, you know, evil and scum. And, you know, you don't go this low, Trump. That was a low blow, you know. And let me know what y'all think. But people are saying, you know, well, Massey married a young intern only a year after his wife died. That's disgusting. And then, you know, people are saying, well, Massey, they're saying even Massey was cheating on his wife. And again, we just saying alleged. We don't have anything confirmed, okay? But y'all see what everybody's saying, though. You know, he got remarried less than a year, huh? You know, people, you know, and again, people are saying Trump is right, you know. And then some people are saying, well, why is Trump acting like this? Some people are saying, I don't understand what happened to Trump. He lost me. You know, and this person says, I think that's really disgusting that he married someone only a year after his wife died. Most widowers don't get remarried or remarry after years of getting over grief because they love their spouse. It makes me think that there was some cheating going on between Massey and his current, you know, wife. But hey, someone says, boo-hoo, if you can't take it, don't dish it out. Massey volunteered for the criticism. He knew and took the risk. No victims, only volunteers. Oh, boy. But, again, y'all, shout out to all my widows out there. There's tons of on the part of this, you know, on this channel. You know, we support our widows out there. You know, even my mom was a widow. And it took her, what 2-3 years to finally try to, you know, get out there and get away. It took some years, man, you know, after my father passed, you know, and it's hard. you know, and we're still healing, you know. So I want to send a love to all my widows out there and someone who's lost somebody, man. You know, death is weird, man, but you know that's a part of life, you know, and we're all living to die, dying to live. And this is why I tell you guys to just be a great human being, man. It don't take much, you know. Be a great human being, you know. But let me know how you feel about this whole Trump post. Again, people right now are posting about it like every single hour right now, and giving Trump a lot of hit back. And some people are actually agreeing with Trump and saying, you know, Trump got a point. You know, there's two ways you can always look at things, you know. But you know, Trump ain't gonna hold his tongue. Trump gonna call it how he see it, and hey, if you don't like it, god dog it. That's too god doggone bad. Hey, sorry, that's the president of the United States. You know, he ain't holding it for nobody. You know, but we got a video on the show we want to show, and let's jump into that, man. It was Trump waited for the perfect moment. Let's check this one out right here. Now look at the meme of the day. Oh boy.
Hypocrisy of the left. Here's your meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. You know, I think there's a real distinction being made right now. There's a difference between a dishonest manipulation campaign and real political strategy. And I think that distinction is being made between what the Democrats are engaging in, all their tomfoolery, constant distractions, lies, and manipulations, and what President Trump is now doing, playing the game, frankly, the right way, the way that you should play it. President Trump just came out with an announcement, and in my view, just completely torpedoed the entire Democrat scam at its source. He's talking real substantive policy, basically exactly what Democrats are engaging in whatever tricks possible to avoid. I think this is the difference between them and us. And I also believe in the end, this is how you win. This is how you flip their narrative. This is how you make their pathetic little strategies and stunts blow up in their frickin' faces by showing voters exactly who's focused on the things that matter and who's pushing the damn scams. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on as Democrats continue to lose on the issues. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here comes President Trump, not getting distracted by the Epstein smears and everything else going on, but just focusing on the policies. What's important?
Going to go down, it went the exact opposite, with the biggest increase of healthcare in any country. It's a disaster. And I'm calling today for insurance companies not to be paid, but for the money, this massive amount of money, to be paid directly to the people of our country so that they can buy their own health care, which will be far better and far less expensive than the disaster known as Obamacare. And I've had, I think, great support. I've even had Democrat support. So we want the money that would be going to the insurance company, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. You know, their stock prices have gone up by 1,000% in many cases, 1,000% over a short period of time, because our country stupidly pays them so much money with this Obamacare scandal. So I want the money to go directly to you, the people. And you go out and you'll buy your own health insurance and you'll negotiate different plans and you'll get much better insurance, and you will be an entrepreneur for yourself. So I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with health care. We can do a lot better. We can do great. So much money is involved, and we're willing to pay so much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot of money to the people. They're going to go out and buy their own health care, and we're going to forget this Obamacare madness.
Again, you know, the track record is clear with this president. Every single time, as the Democrats are focused on these antics, everything's always a new fake scandal, a new hoax. The president is focused on you. And you know what? That's the first serious solution that I've heard on the healthcare affordability crisis in a really long time. Democrats are always virtue signaling, oh, my health care. But when have they actually presented a solution other than Bernie Sanders' abysmal universal health care scam? Well, the answer is never. What Democrats want are more subsidies being directed at the insurance companies so the middlemen can benefit. President Trump is now offering a serious solution. He wants the dollars in your hands, and he's now putting Democrats in a position where they have to answer. They're going to have to vote on this if it ever gets presented as a bill. And of course, that doesn't exactly bode well for them, because the reality is they don't want to fix Obamacare. No, they just want the issue of Obamacare unaffordability. And that's why they're trying so hard to change the conversation right now. That's why Democrats in the Democratic press, otherwise known as the mainstream media, they're so focused, they're fixated on yet again pushing another bogus Epstein distraction. And honestly, I'm glad that the president is unfazed. He's bulldozing forward, focused on the things that matter. Healthcare premiums, healthcare affordability and accessibility. And this, I believe, is the right approach. This is how you make the shutdown backfire. This Epstein hoax is going to go away. The issue of healthcare is not going anywhere, and I believe that Democrats can get easily exposed.
How do y'all feel about the Marjorie Taylor Greene? I just showed that earlier on the show, and again, she just went on CNN this morning and, you know, said she's really hurt. You know, that Trump will come out and say that she is a traitor, that she still supports Trump and his administration. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. Again, I know how some of y'all said yesterday in yesterday's show about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and a lot of y'all like, man, the hell with MTG, or, you know. And some of y'all were saying, well, you know. So again, we seen a little back and forth, but let me know. Y'all be with me in the comments, man. You know, I'm just letting everything play out. I know it's gonna be a little dirty. It's gonna be a couple of high blows, low blows. Trump is gonna say this and that, you know, and then Trump was with you know, Mr. Graham earlier golfing, and we know how people feel about that. Lindsey Graham. I mean, hey, so it's like, oh hell, you know, we calling somebody a traitor and somebody a rhino. Hey, wait a second. You know, look who you golfing with, Trump. God dog, Daddy, Uncle Donnie, what is you doing out there? You know. But like I tell y'all, man, we're gonna let everything play out before we get on here screaming to the top of our lungs and bashing this person, or even bashing Trump. We're gonna let everything play out, you know. Simple. We're not gonna get up on here screaming to the top of our lungs saying, oh, this and that, or we regret our vote, or you know, it's only been what, 10 months. Everything's gonna play out whether you like it or not. You know. And right now, it's a lot of chess moves going on. So, hey, hang in there, y'all. Hang in there.
On this issue, you can dismantle the entire premise. This whole claim of a Republican healthcare crisis. It's not a real thing. It's their healthcare crisis. Even their own John Fetterman is now admitting that to the media.
The people that are watching, it's like the Democrats. We designed these to expire at the end of the year. This wasn't something the Republicans are taking. It's like, that's how we designed this.
Exactly. They built the whole...
Featherman just comes out every single day on his party. We should own the shutdown. We did this. We Democrats did this. You know, man, Featherman, I tell you, we're waiting for that announcement. Senator Hoodie. And we got something coming on the show in a little bit on Featherman. He just released a picture of his face, and I'm glad he is going through a speedy recovery. But he just released something on his face, and we're going to get into that next on the show.
Worst of all, they tried to hold the country hostage so they could flip the script on this issue. It's their healthcare crisis, and it was their shutdown. Why do you think all of a sudden now they're throwing a freaking hissy fit as the shutdown is coming to an end?
What an absolute disgrace, man.
This out during a pretty fiery speech on the House floor.
The reason we know this is a Democratic shutdown is because of how angry they are that we're about to reopen the government, period. That's all you need to know. In 2023, Jerry Nadler said shutdown is really an extremist policy designed to appeal to an extremist base and hold the whole country hostage. That is exactly what the Democrats have done over the last 43 days. They have held the American people hostage, trying to extract insane things like free health care for illegal immigrants. If they were serious about tackling the healthcare affordability crisis in this country, then they would address the fundamental problem with Obamacare. Since Obamacare took effect, healthcare premiums have risen by 96%. And on the open market by 114%. When I asked Leader Jeffries to sign on to the 1-year extension of the premium tax credit, he refused. He stuttered, he stammered, he couldn't answer a single question.
Yeah, with that big old sombrero on his head.
because this shutdown was never about health care. It was always about appeasing a far-left radical base. Chuck Schumer said, every day gets better for us. Catherine Clark said, of course people...
We need term limits. Term got doggone limits.
People will suffer. We want to use this as leverage. It is an embarrassment to this country. You should all be ashamed of yourselves for inflicting this pain on the American people.
Exactly. Now all of a sudden they're so freaking angry as the shutdown is coming to an end because they know the implication. The short term is, maybe some pain for President Trump. I'm not going to deny that it's not there in the polling data, but now comes the opportunity to get ahead of these Democrats and to absolutely and utterly outmaneuver them. Propose real policy changes, real solutions to their failing Obamacare, to their healthcare crisis, expose them as the architects.
That's one thing I tell y'all, man. With this administration and everything that's going on right now, we must stay focused, especially leading up to the midterms. We must stay focused, And honestly, with all the things that's going on, especially revolving around the Epstein and all the smearing, and it just gets worse for Democrats. But I think we shouldn't be fighting within, and I honestly think the whole MTG situation. I'll give y'all a little, me going in, because like I told you, I'm gonna just sit back and let everything play out. But I think we should honestly, let's I know Trump's busy. I know Trump's doing this. He's doing like 100 things in one single day. But I think stuff like that we should let's go have a dinner, go meet. Let's go talk it out. Go meet with the president. I'm pretty sure you can pull some kind of strings to eventually come in contact with him. But again, y'all know how it is and how it is with, and this is why, I be seeing in my comments, people say this is why a lot of women shouldn't hold these positions and, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and this and that, and people say, yes, she has been, complaining and, being very impatient and saying this and that. And we know where Marjorie Taylor Greene stands and, again, but I think we shouldn't be fighting within, and that we that again, agree to disagree. You might not agree with this or that with the president, but I think y'all should go meet up and talk it out. Go into a back room or something, Hey, but I just don't like all the back and forth and fighting within, But then again, I know a lot of y'all say the hell with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And some of y'all still love and support Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that's fine, I don't have nothing against her. Like I say, I'm gonna let everything play out. But we got to stay focused, man. We got to stay focused. For for we the people, for the America First agenda, man, that we are all rooting for. Simple. We got to stay focused, man. The midterms are coming up. A lot of things are coming up, man. We got to focus on the economy. We got to focus right now to stay focused, stay locked in. Because I agree with one of our other conservative friends that we are distracted, on a couple things. We got to stay focused and locked in, and this shutdown and Democrats have just been sabotaging and trying to set us back any chance they get, as you can see. And they literally said it's their leverage. They literally, orchestrated this and planned this, and it's a disgrace, man. But we got to hold the line, and we must keep fighting,
Only behind the failure of Obamacare, but as the architects of the government shutdown that caused so much pain, expose them as the snakes that they are, pretending to be for the people, but really, I think it's becoming increasingly more apparent they're for the insurance companies, for big pharma, for the big corporate oligarchs that they pretend to be fighting against on behalf of the people. Now, there's one president...
We feel like it's gotten so bad with the Democrats, though. I honestly don't think they'll never get anywhere. People are done with the Democrats, I believe, man. After everything we've seen, it's just been an absolute disgrace, man. And I'm telling y'all now, the American people, the majority of Americans are not stupid. They think we're stupid. We're not stupid.
who time and time again is the only one who seems to stick his neck out, who seems to offer solutions and policy proposals that benefit the people, and that's President Trump. And so my view is, ignore the noise, ignore the media circus, and focus on the issues. Remind people that it was Democrats who caused this Obamacare crisis. It's Democrats who are constantly lying. It's Democrats who are taking you hostage. It's Democrats who engage in every matter of hoax, anything, but actually discussing real, tangible solutions to important problems that the American people are facing. Focus on the issues while Democrats focus on the distractions. Win in good faith, win on the policies, because that's what won in 2024. That's why people vote for President Trump, because they're sick of the gaslighting, they're sick of the BS, they're sick of the Democrat games. And now Democrats are taking those games to a whole other freaking level here, expecting it's gonna yield results for them, but it didn't then, it didn't in 2024. Why would it moving forward? You know, there was supposed to be a lesson in 2024 for the Democratic Party, but instead it seems they've doubled down, and the only way that's gonna work for them is if you let it work for them. But if Trump and the GOP work tirelessly now moving forward to expose all of these Democrats' scams, if you do it right, if you run a strong campaign, you can utterly demolish them. The amount of ammunition they've given the GOP in just the last 2 months, in my view, should be enough to sink the party brand into the dumpster further than it already is. And I think President Trump's approach is the right approach. Focus on the issues, ignore the noise, the scams, the games. Focus on what matters instead of getting caught in the mud with these absolute clowns. Anyways, that's what I
totally agree, man. What do y'all think? You know, again, what a time to be alive, man. You know, we do not know what to expect next, man. But we must stay focused. We must stay focused right now. Times we are in, we must stay focused. And again, we send our love and prayers, and that this administration, President Trump, continues to have our best interests in heart. That truth will set people free. That everything will come out. You know, I'm hoping for everything to come out, for things to be exposed. You know, for the truth to shine in broad daylight. Simple. You know, and that things get better for we the people, for the American people. Yeah. When it comes to affordability, accountability, when it comes to just everything, man, you know. And I get it. I know this, and things don't happen overnight. I understand that. You know, I have common sense. But, you know, we got to stay focused, man, and let things play out. It's only been 10 months, you know. No, you might not like when Trump did this or said this, but let Trump cook. Let him cook right now, you know. God dog it. He's the president, you know. Let him cook, hell. And if he overcook it, hell, we gonna come on here and tell you that the kitchen. So who burnt? Ooh wee, it's burnt up in here. Ooh wee. You done burnt it up in here. We're gonna come on here and let you know. But hey, man, y'all have an amazing rest of your weekend. Enjoy yourself. Spend some time. Take some time out for yourself. Enjoy your loved ones. Check on your loved ones, you know, and continue to spread that love, man. I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.